There are a lot of things we're going to be doing on all our creative quests here, and one thing we are not going to do is let ourselves get gypped out of money that we worked hard for and we earned. I hate to say it, but we have all had that client that unfortunately we worked super hard for and they just didn't pay the invoice, or they paid half the invoice and said that they're not paying for the other half because of XYZ. Whatever the situation, we got the short end of the stick. So I want to give you 2 easy tips that you can literally implement like today if you want to, that I wish I knew about when I was first starting out. So the first one is pretty obvious, but I know, especially for beginners, you've got your mind on a million different other things, so it tends to fall to the wayside. And so the first one is pretty obvious, but I know for beginners it tends to fall to the wayside because you've just got your mind on a million other things that you're trying to do to get the business off the ground, and that's making a solid contract. Having a solid contract is literally your safety net, and I'm telling you from personal experience, I waited way too long to bring this into effect. Contracts can seem a little complicated in terms of getting all the logistics together, but I promise you they're not as hard as you think they are. And once you get a good one together, if a client tries to run or dip out on you, go anywhere, the contract is the leash that will keep them from getting very far. And for those of you who are still getting the contract put together, or maybe you just prefer not to use it, the second tip is for you. Tip number 2 is don't deliver the product until you have the payment. Again, this is something that a lot of people who are just getting into the space tend to fall victim to, because maybe they land that first slightly bigger client, or they got like a slightly bigger invoice or something, and so they really want to over deliver on all of their services and the whole experience and everything. So they send the project early and they're like, hey, let me know what you think. And then you never hear anything back. Or they have a bunch of complaints and then the client gets angry and they go, I'm not paying for this. And then you spend all that time and all that work all for no monetary value. It's important to remember that what we deliver or what we give to a client is a tangible product, meaning it's an item. And that being said, since you are the one who captures the item, they can't get it from you until you give it to them. So typically what I do is I will have my clients make a deposit to reserve their session date and time on my calendar, because my time is valuable. And if they're going to be saying, oh, we want to do a shoot on this date or something, then they need to pay for it and lock that in, let me know they're serious. And then the second thing I do is enforce the exact principle I was just telling you about. So at most, if they want to see like a sample or something like that, I may send them like a watermarked video or photo or something like that. But unless I really know and trust the client, they don't get anything until they pay their final invoice. So that's it, guys. I just want to make sure you guys are protected. I want to make sure that whoever's out there grinding, putting in the work, is getting paid for their work and is able to use those dollars to grow the business and invest in themselves to keep moving forward. If you have any questions, drop them below. Other than that, happy shooting.